Konnichiwa. Welcome everyone to the Asian Studies Focus Award Celebration 2012. I'm Kakiyamabushi, member of Asian Studies International Initiative and Japanese team at Portland Community College. On behalf of the Asian Studies Committee, we thank Brian, the chair of the International Initiatives, Dave, Sherry, and the English and World Languages Division, Frances, Dan, and Patrick of the Performing Arts, and I'm sorry, but I have a lot of thank you to say to, and Doug, Sue of the audiovisual team, Eric, Michael of the web team, Alan, Begonia, Daniel, and wonderful ASBCC team, Jana of the food service, and Matt of the facility team. Jane, Sylvia, Ron, Tom, and everyone who's out there, thank you so much for coming. And also, we thank for today's event and all their support throughout the year. At the end of the performance, we will have Q&A sessions, so please stay and join us. And at the end of the first half of the performance here, we will be moving to Pack Lobby for the second half of the program. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Laurence Kominz. Dr. Kominz is a professor of Japanese language, literature, drama at Portland State University. He researches and writes on kabuki, kyogen, and the plays of Mishima Yukio. In classes and workshops, he teaches a performance of kyogen and kabuki. Aimee Zink is a sophomore who has been in several of Dr. Kominz's Kyogen productions. She does improv acting and choral singing as well. Rachel Miller is a senior who began Buyo dancing only a half a year ago with Fujinami Kai in Portland. She's also been in several Japanese productions at PSU. Aimee and Rachel have major roles in kabuki play that Dr. Kominz is directing at PSU. The date for that is June 10th. And now I'm going to ask Dr. Kominz to come out. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here at PCC and to present a little bit of what we do with students at Portland State. As you were just told, we are in the process now of creating a much bigger kabuki production, which will be in the main stage at Portland State on June 10th. And so pick up these white flyers for the information. It's a very reasonable ticket if you're a student. So you will see our two performers today in this production. You might not recognize them. They'll be in full courtesan and princess makeup with big wigs and gorgeous kimonos, and you'll just have to read their names to know who they are because they'll look a lot different. Today we're going to be focusing primarily on Kyogen. Kyogen is Japan's medieval farce. It's been performed since the 1300s and 1400s. It's still performed and popular today. We're going to have one dance, however, from the Buyo tradition, which is more connected to kabuki, so you can see the differences in those dance forms. The dancer for both of those will be Rachel Miller. Let me tell you a little bit about the first dance. We're going to start older and start medieval, work towards Edo period aesthetics. The first dance is called Kyoto Children, Kyowaranbe, and it's all about the games that children play, girls and boys, and then girls and boys dancing together in the summer dance festivals that were so popular in Japan in the medieval period. So you'll see a little girl playing with her doll and taking it off on her shoulder to play in the park at the Kyoto Imperial Palace, which is still a big park where parents take their children to play. And then they're going to enjoy New Year's games, including shuttlecock, which is like a kind of a badminton game. And then into boys during Boys' Day, riding on their hobby horses. And finally doing their dances. So it's sort of a year in the life of a child of Kyoto. So we'll start with that. It's going to be in Japanese. We'll be in Japanese until the last play, which will be entirely in English. So now I will become the chorus for this, and Rachel Miller will be dancing. Okay, Rachel. Now, the next dance you're going to see is called Itako Dejima, and it's the middle part of a longer Buyo dance called Fuji Musume. Fuji Musume means the Wisteria Maiden. It's a very oft-performed Buyo dance, and I particularly wanted to get this on the program because a lot of people might think, well, Japanese fan dancing, it pretty much looks the same, it doesn't matter what tradition it comes from, whether it's No or Kyogen or Kabuki or Buyo, but you're going to see a very different look, a different, a kind of the creation of the ideal feminine in body and posture and pose from a later era, the Edo period. And this would have a orchestral accompaniment, so I can't sing the accompaniment. We're going to have a soundtrack accompaniment for this dance. And Rachel will again dance it. There's not all that much happening, but it's a woman who is thinking about love and nature by turns. So next on the program, I'm going to do a very short storytelling section of a Kyogen play. And I'd like to tell you what I'm going to say first, and then I'm going to do it. Storytelling is a part of all of the performing arts. So you might have dialogue or dancing, sung lyrical sections, but there are often sections of a play in which the character comes on and tells a story. And so this is a very short little section of a play called Hiding the Badger, Kakushi Danuki in Japanese. And at this point, a servant to a master has been persuaded to tell the master how he hunts badgers. So this is what it is in English. You go to the mountains, you dig a very big hole. You take a recently caught young rat and deep fry it. You take the deep fried rat and put it in the hole. You take the pieces that are still in the pot from the deep fry and you put it on these little thin trails near the hole where badgers run. Then you lie in wait. The badger is attracted by the scent of the bait on the track, and it comes to the hole. It peers into the hole. Just at the moment it's about to jump in the hole, you come out of hiding, take the big stick you brought along and bash it, and that's how you get badgers. It's not a happy story.
Yama e mairimaste, ookina ana wo horimashite, jojo no wakanezumi wo abura age ni shite iremasu. Mata tanuki no mairu michi e wa komakana e o chobo to maite okimasiru to, sono kobashi nioi ni hikasarete, ana no hata e maite, ji to nerubote orimashite, やがて飛びつこうといさすところ、漁師が手頃の手木を持ってほど長着して取りまする。
So that's how you catch badgers. And to conclude, we're going to do a Kyogen play. Now we're switching entirely into English. And you're going to see a character appear at the beginning of the play you may not know much about. In Japanese, he's called Yamabushi. Yamabushi literally means he who sleeps in the mountains. This he who sleeps in the mountains is a mountain wizard. Mountain wizards were believed, they're in the Tantric Buddhist sects, they were believed to have magical powers. Some of these magical powers are particularly useful for society, the most important one being exorcism powers. And serious illnesses were believed to be caused by the possession of evil spirits. And so if you had a serious illness, you had to call a Yamabushi in to pray those spirits away to make the patient better. That was one of the things that their powers did. The power you're going to see taking place, and this is another power, they had what were known as tractor beam powers with their prayers. You know this if you're a Star Trek fan. It pulls or pushes things at a distance, right? And so, for example, if there's a big earthquake in Japan and you had a five-story pagoda and it tilted like this because of the earthquake, nothing carpenters could do about it. They'd call the most powerful wizards in the land and they'd pray, 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 and it'd go and straighten right back up, according to the historical records. Now, what's interesting about Kyogen, and say compared with the no drama that it was, the Kyogen was comic interludes for the more serious and heroic and tragic no dramas. All characters of high rank and authority are made fun of and lose out in conflicts with the lower class in Kyogen. So Kyogen's all about turning the social order upside down. So while your no plays are going to show Yamabushi engaged especially in healing and exorcism and successful at those endeavors, that won't necessarily be the case in a Kyogen play. And so I now invite you to sit back and enjoy The Mountain Wizard and the Persimmons.
I hail from Black Feather Mountain in the north, a wizard great in magical power. I have just finished rituals at the 2 sacred peaks in the south, and now I am on my way home. Now I'll hurry on my way. The way of a mountain wizard is long and hard, though there are many religions in this wide world, requiring that I sleep in mountain and moor, and take rocks and branches for my pillow. But behold, the power I thus derive. I can fell flying birds from the sky before your very eyes. Such is the power of the mountain wizard's way. But you know, I left my hotel so early this morning that I've grown quite hungry. I wonder if there's anything to eat around here. Look, it's a big persimmon tree. I'll throw a rock at the tree and knock a persimmon down. Yatona! Looks like I missed. Well, there's a rock that's just perfect for throwing. I'll throw that one at the tree and knock a persimmon down. Yatona! Looks like I missed again. Well, I'll just use this to knock a persimmon down. Yatona! Yatona! I didn't even come close. Well, now what am I going to do? I know, I've got a good idea. There's a way up that tree so easy it's just begging me to climb it. I'll climb up the tree and get the persimmons up there. Yatona! Wow! The persimmons up here look a lot bigger than they did from the ground. I'll try one. Yatona. Ow. 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 Meow. 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 My, what a delicious persimmon. I'll have another one. Yatona.
I'm a small-time farmer who lives in these parts. I own quite a few persimmon trees. And now that it's come to be autumn, my persimmons are getting ripe.
That one was even better than
so I go every day to inspect my persimmon growth. Today, I'm on my way to inspect my growth. Now, it's a well-known fact that when persimmons get ripe,
People
so
like
good,
to
they're
steal
almost
them and
addicting.
eat them.
I need to have
And that's
another
why
one.
I have to go every day to inspect my groves. Well, what do you know? Here I am already in my grove. Ow, ow, ow,
Yeah,
ow.
that
Hey,
was a sour one.
who is it?
Ugh.
Throws a rock
I have to
at
have
the
another to get the
Persimmon
taste out of
owner
my
when he's
mouth.
out in his grove.
Ow, 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 now, now, now,
Look at
now.
that. It's a scary
Well, that one did
looking
the
mountain
trick.
wizard
I'm still not
up
full
in
then.
my
So I'll have
tree
another.
stealing my persimmons.
Ow.
Hey,
Ow.
hey, you there.
Uh-oh, it looks like the grove owners come round. Well, I'll just hide behind this little branch so he can't see me.
What a stupid mountain wizard. He's hiding behind that little branch and thinks I can't see him. A stupid mountain wizard like that deserves a little teasing. Aha! Now that I get a better look, it doesn't look like a man up in the tree.
I'm in luck. If he thinks I'm not a man, then I'm safe.
Why, it looks like a crow.
What? Could I look like a crow?
Crows always caw. Won't you caw?
I'm going to have to caw.
And if you don't caw, it means you're a man. And if you're a man, bring me my bow and arrow. I'll shoot you down.
Coca!
What's that? Kuka?
Coca! Coca! Coca!
Kuka, kuka, kuka. That was a pretty good imitation of a crow. Let's tease him a little bit more. Aha! Now that I get a better look, it doesn't look like a crow. It looks like a monkey.
What? Could I look like a monkey?
And whenever monkeys see people, they scratch and screech.
I'm going to have to scratch and screech.
And if you don't scratch and screech, you're a man. And if you're a man, bring me my spear. I'll run you through.
Kya!
What's that? Kya?
Kya! 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 Kya!
Kya, kya, kya. He did a fine imitation of a monkey. Let me see if I can think of something a little harder for him to do. I know. I've got an idea. Aha! Now that I get a better look, it's not a crow and it's not a monkey. It's a vulture.
What? Could I look like a vulture?
Vultures always spread their wings and cry out.
I'm going to have to spread my wings and cry out.
And if you don't spread your wings and cry out, you're a man. And if you're a man, bring me my gun. I'll blast you out of the tree.
Hey! Yodo, 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 yodo!
Yoro, yoro, yoro. He did a fine imitation of a vulture this time. But now we'll make it really hard on him. And after vultures spread their wings and cry out, they always fly away. Won't you fly away?
Oh no, I'm in trouble now. He wants me to fly out of this tall tree. Now what am I going to do?
Now he's in trouble. Let's see if we can get him to fly. It looks like he's gonna 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 fly. 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 He fell out of the tree. Now I'll go home.
Hey! Hey, you there!
Huh?
What do you mean, huh? Not only did you compare an exalted mountain wizard with the old saying that mountain wizards will be reborn as vultures, I thought I might have begun to grow wings. But I hadn't even begun to grow feathers. So when I jumped out of the tree, I fell and I injured my hip. I demand that you take me to your home and treat my injury.
Don't be ridiculous. Who's gonna treat the injury of a persimmon-stealing mountain wizard?
If you persist in being rude and don't treat my injury, then you'll be sorry.
What can you mean by that?
You're going to see something.
And who's gonna show me?
I am.
But someone like you, it can't be very impressive.
You're asking for it.
For what?
Now I'll show you. Now mountain wizards get their name because they sleep in mountain and field. What do you think? Pretty impressive, eh?
Oh yeah, really impressive.
Now behold the wizard's beads, a fine crystal rosary. It is not. Simply collect seeds from the ground, string them together like this, and you have a rosary. With this rosary in hand, while I chant my wizard prayers, behold the power of my faith. Mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo.
This is boring.
A, B, C,
I think I'm gonna go home
D,
now.
F, G. Mumbo jumbo,
What's that?
mumbo jumbo.
That's strange.
Q-R-S-T.
What's this? What's happening? I can't believe it.
Mumbo jumbo,
You can't really be doing this.
mumbo jumbo. L-M-N-O-P.
What's going on?
Mumbo jumbo, mumbo jumbo. Now do you believe in the power of the mountain wizard's prayers?
Yes, I believe.
Well then, take me to your home and treat my injury.
I guess I have no choice. I'll do whatever you say. Here, get on my back and I'll carry you home.
Carry me gently.
Okay.
Eh,
Yatona! Can you hear me up there?
Yes, what is it?
It would be easy enough to take you home and care for your injury, but the persimmon-stealing mountain wizards, this is what I do! I'm going home, and I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about it.
Hey!
I don't know anything about it.
Someone stop that scoundrel!
About it.
I won't let you get away with it! I won't let you get away!
If you want to stick around for 10 minutes, we're happy to take questions and answers. You can ask me or Rachel or Amy, anything you'd like.
Why did you choose that type of role rather than, for example, the beautiful role in Soden?
Honestly, I didn't get to choose.
Whatever I order my students to do.
When I first met Komai Sensei, I mentioned that I had a theater background, and he needs people to do little Kyogen plays for him periodically, and I volunteered to do it. And usually in Kyogen plays, we get to have these goofier kinds of roles. So yeah.
Yeah, there aren't too many graceful, beautiful women in Kyogen plays. That's why we have her here to do a Buyo dance for us, right? And in kabuki plays, you have those kinds of characters. So if you come to our kabuki show, you'll see beautiful women. In Kyogen plays, women are mainly wives, and the wives generally dominate their husbands. They look pretty fierce, and they act fierce, the way real wives are. You know, there aren't too many romantic love stories in Kyogen plays. Kabuki has more of those. Yeah.
Were those plays that are traditional plays, like the last one, was it just translated, or did you make it up? Or?
No, I didn't make it up. It was taught. It was my debut play back in 1978, studying under now 92-year-old Sensaku, Shigeyama Sensaku. This one we know was performed in the late 1400s, so it has a long history, and you know, virtually changed nothing. We kept the animals the same. The movement's exactly the same. The voice, you can tell there's a difference. The way the voice would sound is the way my Badger monologue sounded. That's what the voice would sound like. But that's a very traditional play. It obviously was popular. That kind of slapstick was just as popular in the 1400s as it is now.
Was that a standard dance for all those movements? Did you sort of make up your own dance out of a repertoire of movements, or was it a standard dance?
It is a standard dance that I have to
Every
follow.
movement is already choreographed.
Yeah, the improv's not a part of Buyo. It's very rigidly choreographed. But when you get to be a master teacher, you get to begin to choreograph. But you don't tell your student, okay, you can improv here. You know, but you know, new work's choreographed. But you have to reach a certain level, and then you can choreograph. Yes?
I've always kind of wondered about the speed of the movement, or lack of speed of the movement, and what kind of meaning or symbolism, or, I mean, it seems like all movement in Japanese theater is sort of regularly slow.
I mean, for example, did you feel that way about the Kyogen play too? Or is this, you're talking about dance?
Oh.
For example, would you want her, instead of going, pee, pee, you'd rather she go, pee, 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 like that, sort of? Is that what you have in mind? You know, I think...
Walking,
the walking, yeah. The walking and the slide step is very traditional, and it's deliberate, like you noticed. It should be done not at it should be done at this kind of a pace where it starts, every time you walk in a straight line, you start slow. Aimee does this nicely, and you pick it up, and you turn slow, start slow, pick it up. You won't see people, you know, running on stage looking like Usain Bolt, for example. Even when they run, it's going to be deliberate. Like that. Basically, anything that might seem to be from daily life won't happen. Everything should be artistic and fabricated in traditional Japanese performance. So that's why you run. It's pretty, right? And it's not meant to be the fastest run a human being could do, even if in the story of the play, you've got to get from point A to point B fast. If that's the story says, oh my God, my house is on fire, my kid's in the house, I've got to get back and get him out. You're never allowed to run as fast as you possibly can because it's stage art. Stage art, you have to run there beautifully. Not as fast as you possibly can as if it was real life, right? So I guess the artistic reason, I mean, the art calls for that kind of deliberateness. Yeah.
With the attire, like, I know for a lot of cultures, like different colors or different styles of fabric will have, you know, different historical meanings. Is that the same thing with the Japanese culture and what they wear?
So what you see here is a very standard mountain wizard. Any Japanese who takes a look at this, maybe even people who've only been reading manga, will recognize this as a mountain wizard. He couldn't be anything else with this surplice with the puffballs on it, with the little round hat that represents the wheel of the law. Those are emblems of that particular profession. Or you can be more symbolic. After all, she represents the Wisteria Maiden. I think you have a beautiful wisteria right out in your plaza. Is it still blooming? Or is it past now? But this is wisteria colored, right? She's wearing wisteria colored robe, so we've got a lavender and purple motif. And what do we have hanging here? Wisteria, right? So she's the Wisteria Maiden. We're going to make this outfit symbolic of the wisteria. I'm just in brown because my last role is a small-time farmer and I don't want to stand out. A check pattern is a very daily pattern. It's not a, you never wear a pattern like this if you're going to a wedding or a formal, reception or something. So that was why this is chosen. Her pantaloons could hang down as far as mine do, but they're up with these leggings because this is a traveling mountain wizard, doesn't want to get this all dirty. So you get your leggings dirty, they're easier to wash. So that's a practical item of attire for a traveler. It indicates she's traveling, right? Yeah, so costume is important. We do think carefully about it. And the person who always dresses us is my wife, Toshimi, who's in the back. Thank you, as always. Yeah.
Most your Japanese students at ACC. Can you and your actors
Thank you very much, guys. This is the beginning of a fabulous experience for you. It's just her senior year. She's not going to be with us that much longer. Let's do it. Hello, my name's Larry Kominz. I come from Portland State University where I teach Japanese language, literature, and drama. And today I came with two of my students to present to PCC students a little introduction to Japanese traditional performing arts, especially focusing on Kyogen. Kyogen is a form of Japanese farce that dates back to the late 1300s. It's been performed regularly and continuously since then up until now. The plays were created from the 1300s through largely the 1700s. A few new ones have been created since then, but by and large it's traditional repertory, and we chose to put on one of those traditional plays called The Mountain Wizard and the Persimmons. You'll have seen from looking at the play that it's got a lot of wordplay, parody, farce, slapstick movement, hyperbole, which means really going over the top and asking your audience to enjoy something that could never happen in real life. There's no way that even the stupidest farmer is going to look at a mountain wizard and think it's a crow or a monkey. Nevertheless, this kind of hyperbole is essential to the joy of Kyogen. So we presented one of those plays. And then another thing that we presented, or one of the ways I thought of this program, was to show the same dancer in the same outfit doing two dances that are very different aesthetically and in mood. And so we had Rachel Miller start with a dance which is excerpted from a Kyogen play. From a much longer play, there's an occasion where one of the characters is supposed to dance. That was the dance Kyoto Children, and it had a lot of fan movements that represented children playing in various ways. And then after that, we had Rachel perform a romantic, graceful dance of a beautiful young woman in the Buyo dance style. And so I'm sure the audience could see how very different in feel and in mood these two dances were. And it's partly, of course, the subject matter. Children and young women in love are different subjects, but it's also an entirely different musical style, entirely different movement idiom. The one thing that they shared, which I'm sure the audience could notice, is that the fan can be used to represent all sorts of different things. The fan in both these forms can be used to represent any sort of utensil or item. It can be used to accentuate a gaze off in the distance. So looking at some of the fan movements that were mimetic in the second dance, the Wisteria Maiden, we see her with her fan partially open, represent the planting of plants. And then she wants to cut one for her flower arrangement, so she gracefully grabs it, and this becomes clippers, right? And it was very clear. Whereas in the other dance, we had, for example, the same fan, but this is badminton, okay? A badminton racket all of a sudden, right? Or it can be the dolly that you put on your shoulder. Now it's just a doll that you put on your shoulder. How do we know that it's a doll that you put? It doesn't look much like a doll on your shoulder. The lyrics saying, she puts the doll on her shoulder, and that's how we know what it represents. And so by and large, it was a Kyogen-centered presentation, Kyogen being Japan's traditional farce, invented in the late 1300s and performed continually until today.